episode 1219 of Hard Factor. It is Monday, May 29th, 2023. Happy Memorial Day. Well, I guess you don't say Happy Memorial Day. You say this is Memorial Day.
Great? I think because it's a sad day you're remembering, so you're not supposed to be like, "Hey, happy," but it is. You can.
Happy Memorial Day is a little bit of an oxymoron. I feel like.
Who's your favorite dead soldier?
Regardless of that, thank you for cheating on the news with us today.
The one I'm most excited to be dead, Hitler.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But we don't memorialize that piece
American
of shit. Yeah,
I don't want to memorial him.
His hands dirty.
No.
Memorial Day, originally known as Decoration Day, federal holiday.
He was
Estados Unidos.
He was a vegan artist, right? I mean, that's when people should have been taking a little bit of a clue.
That's a red flag.
Yeah. You might want to take a second look at that guy. Okay. Today, Pat's got the relegation of Ken Paxton, Leeds United, and more in the coffee.
Yep. Other vegan artists: Billie Eilish, Travis Barker, Morrissey.
There's some good ones.
Miley Cyrus, Ariana Grande, and Tom York.
But he meant specifically like painting, not musician. Painting painters.
Painting dogs. Yeah. And in fact, not a good painter, a street painter who wasn't even good enough to make it on the streets. So he turned to political speeches instead.
Right. And that's what you paint, you bum.
He was good at those.
He was a lot better at those, wasn't he, Wes?
Yeah. Fuck Hitler.
Yeah. Wes, our resident racism expert, knows just how good Hitler was at those. And
fuck Hitler. We're Memorial Day.
It haunts Wes every day. And Wes has a wild international lightning round on deck.
Yeah. Going to go international for Memorial Day.
That makes sense.
Outside of the country.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's where a lot of the Memorial Day lives were lost. That's for
sure. Going to go to India. Going to go to Cambodia. We're going to go to South Korea.
There you go.
Stamp, passport stamps.
Stamps to stamp it.
Yeah.
Mark's got a very unique con job in the hole for this one today.
Yeah, it's a story. Well, they made a movie about it, and it turns out it may have happened right before the movie came out in real life. Horror film. We'll get to it.
Wow. Horror film.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I'm intrigued. And I've got Richard Dreyfuss back in the headlines to back clean up today. Have you guys seen the recent Richard Dreyfuss clips? Because
I heard a quote. He's not real happy about stuff.
You've heard. Yeah.
He's upset.
Heard. Oh, yeah. You've seen the headlines. No. That's only surface deep. We got to take a deep dive. Oh, I can't wait.
He is not happy about film representation and
stuff. Yes,
yeah.
Okay, there's those. Okay. You've seen all the headlines, but
yeah.
have you've clearly not seen the actual footage, which is fantastic.
He's not going to go see The Little Mermaid.
Yeah. What kind of phobe is he?
Oh, he's a phobe of all. He's mostly a phobe. He's mostly a phobe of you won't guess it. You'll guess what he's mostly a phobe of right now.
Jews.
And you won't. No, he is
Jew-phobe.
Is he?
Yeah, very much.
A self-hating Jew is what he is.
No, we'll get to it. You'll see what he's most phobic of. It's something that you definitely will not guess. Also, shout out to James England. I will not repeat what he says, but he says, I haven't missed an episode in 2.5 years. He's watching us tape live. You can do that at youtube.com/hardfactornews or on Twitch. And James, we feel the same about you, bro. Just can't use your nomenclature. Love y'all. HAGFD.
Love you, James.
There you go. Wes caught that one from a mile away.
I think we all caught that one.
All right, let's get into the news, boys. I'm sorry I sound like shit, but as I was telling the boys, it wasn't from partying. I wish it was. It was probably from shrimp.
From dadding.
Well, food partying.
Pat's ninth food poisoning of the year.
No, it got me thinking. It got me checking myself for ticks, Wes.
Well, Pat's got a sensitive stomach. Pat's always been prone to food poisoning with a sensitive stomach, but then now I feel like with a toddler, it probably ups it. It amplifies it.
Pat's been sucking on Cash's fingers and just getting
sick
all year.
You better believe I was eyeing down my nieces and nephews at breakfast this morning. Whose fingers were in the food?
Yeah. Yep.
Anyone else get sick last night? Nope, just me. All right.
Yeah. Cup of coffee in the big time.
All right, guys, in an absolute shocker, Turkey's President Erdogan won his I know it's Erdogan. Won his re-election. There you go.
Yeah, we called that. It went to a runoff, but
it's a shocker.
We knew he was going to win.
Runoff be damned, William.
Yeah.
Erdogan is in.
Erdogan?
Oh, he knew he was.
Erdogan?
Erdogan. According to the New York Times, quote, this victory means Mr. Erdogan could remain in power for at least a quarter century.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of time in power, man.
Oh, yeah, you're going to have to bring an army to get Erdogan out of there. He's got to lock that throne down. Turkey is a presidency, but in name only.
You know who my favorite Erdogan is? Bud.
Yeah.
Great film series.
Yeah.
Because he
also
he even like
that fucking dog.
Erdogan reminds me a lot of like a Lukashenko type, like where even if the election was close, he would just sway it in his own favor. Like,
well, it's funny you say that, Will. It's funny you say that.
It's going to take a coup.
He called his victory before election officials did, which almost always demonstrates both respect for the electoral democratic process and everything being above board. Just saying, when you're calling it before the election officials do, usually you definitely won.
No, my guy told me we wrapped it up.
It's looks like the Erdogan 2023 merch has hit the stores early.
Get it now, man.
Yeah.
Staying on political shit that don't matter. In case you were curious about the debt ceiling, it's all good. So don't sweat it, all right?
That's why we didn't cover it. Everybody kept asking, by the way, in the comments, hey, how come you guys won't cover the debt ceiling? Because we knew
who the fuck
it was
cares?
a bunch of bullshit and that it would be taken care of. So
did they do the thing they always do where they threaten to end the world?
Exactly,
and
Mark.
And then the 11th hour, they come onto a compromise.
Every time. Wow.
Please cover the debt ceiling.
Oh, my God.
Dude,
please.
You better believe.
There was a lot of people saying, like, where's the debt ceiling covered? What's the latest? Like, dude, we don't need to cover it. It's going to get worked out like it does every time.
You better believe I saw those comments, and you better believe I tried. I got in there. I popped an Adderall, started reading, and I was like, what the fuck are they talking about?
There was like one professor from Stanford who came out in the news a couple days ago and was like, if they don't fix the debt ceiling and raise it, the consequences would be 1,000,000 times worse than 2008. It's like, okay, I don't think they're going to let that happen then, Stanford professor.
You got to raise the debt ceiling. Look, here's what it was. Here's what it was, guys. It was just like everything in politics. It was, how do I use my power over you to get what I want, which isn't actually for my constituents, but instead to serve my personal interests. And that's exactly what happened.
And their donors.
Game of chicken till the end.
How do we do nothing for a while and still get paid is what it is.
Right.
Well, it's a perfect opportunity.
Some type of debt limit, but who knows? It's probably arbitrary and way in the future, like it always is.
It's in principle, Will. Biden and McCarthy.
In principle.
In principle. Perfect. That's even better. It's a handshake deal. We get it.
That was also a quote from the Times. I don't know what the fuck that meant. I mean, did you do it or not, man? But here's my thing, man. It's a perfect opportunity for conservatives to say, stop spending so much. Look at all this debt, which you need people to do in your life if you're like me. And also a perfect opportunity for, I don't know what the liberals, what their angle was, but look,
they're saying like you can't shut down Social Security,
right,
blah, blah,
don't
blah.
shut
You can't
down
stop
Social
sending
Security.
checks for the,
Who knows? Biden, McCarthy got together, which I'm sure McCarthy got together on his leash because he's not allowed to do anything right. Remember that? Remember he became a Speaker of the House, but they were like, not so fast, McCarthy.
Took him like 12 rounds.
But this deal, the same people that did the 15 rounds, now they say they're going to try to kill this too. They're like, so he got through and he's kind of disregarding him, it seems like.
You guys are fucked, Americans.
The bad boys of Congress.
Anyway, the bad boys of Congress got in there. Like, here's the deal. Here's it. Listen up, Jack. This is they're lifting the debt limit for 2 years while cutting and capping some government spending. I was gonna list what the spending was, but who cares? Let's move on.
Sounds like a pretty great analysis, honestly, Pat. Thanks.
Let's just move on, guys. More importantly, this is a really pretty interesting one. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Speed. I know you guys did. Listeners, I'm not sure if you did. If you didn't,
Hot quiz, hot shot.
1993 classic starring Keanu Reeves and Dennis Hopper and Jeff Bridges and Sandra Bullock and you might know him from Succession, Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and it was just, dude, Speed was the shit. Look, here's the deal. Here's the premise of Speed. There's a bomb on a bus, okay? If that bus goes over 55 miles an hour,
under
over, the bomb gets armed, Mark.
Right. Yeah, okay.
And then if it goes under again, that bomb explodes. Guess who's on the trail? A young hotshot detective who's good at pop quizzes. His name's Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, he is pretty
Okay. Point is, buses are dangerous places. Everyone knows that. They're the transportation of the poor. That's why West doesn't ride them.
I almost got my ass kicked at a
It's
bus
true.
station in Cape Cod one time.
What happened?
Cape Cod?
Well, it was actually
That's a
just
rich-ass place.
It was around Boston, actually.
It's a rich-ass place to be to ride a bus, West.
I was on my way to Cape Cod, and
trolley.
stopped at a fairly sketchy bus stop, and some kids didn't like the way I looked. I guess I looked too affluent for them, and they wanted to they wanted to kill me, basically.
What does a
That's
Boston
Wes's-
kid say to a rich guy that they want to fight?
Told me
What
to
is-
stop. He asked me what the fuck I was looking at, and then he walked out
Look,
as I
there's
a- What were you looking at?
scattered towards my mother.
There's a bus stop right here. I haven't moved. Stephen C. Live comment. I just had to repaint the purple wall because it wasn't my house, so I painted it white. And the bus stop right here, where I'm out for another 2 days, is where the homeless people sleep, like the one guy who threatened. And the last time I rode a bus was in Denver. My wife's like, "Let's ride a bus because we're on vacation in Denver. It's kind of cute. We'll take a bus to the downtown hotel." And on that bus, I saw a guy scream at a woman. One guy was talking about how he got kicked out of his house and would have to find another sober house because he wasn't sober. And then I was staring across, sitting a 60-year-old Hispanic man who was bleeding through his corduroy pants and had a large blood wound on his thigh. And I was like,
Yeah.
it's a lot of blood if it's wet through your corduroy
That's
pants.
intense people
Yeah.
watching. You know,
There you go.
Homeless
Buses,
encampment is worse. One time though, when I was staying in Amsterdam, and this is why people should have done it before it got destroyed this year, but we stayed right across the street from a blue light, a blue light special, which
Different
is
than
a
red light.
transvestite
Right.
booth, and watched dudes consider and end up going in or not, and talking.
A lot of
with-
first timers there, huh?
Oh yeah, lots of folks very interested, and it was
They
great.
just knew
Dude,
people were
now talk
watching.
about some people watching. That's a great. That was all time people watching. I would prefer that over the homeless encampment.
Yeah, but you
Well,
see
anyway,
the same
guys,
guy walk past 100 times.
Oh, you see them go back, and then they walk past. They walk the block. Like they'll walk around the corner and then come back. Same guy.
He comes out and he says, "Never again."
Right. Or like at that period and stage in their life, they're adept at identifying whether law enforcement's involved. No, I would know. I got to make sure. Ain't no cops in there.
You think anyone's colorblind and stumbles upon the blue light district, and it's like, oh no.
I knew this was a light district
Some
of
of them
some
you
sort.
would not know. Some of
Not
them you
dick
would not.
blind,
Anyway, that's the type of
Across
affluent
the street
West
from us,
is.
you would know.
Taking a bus to Cape Cod. The point is, guys, buses are dangerous, okay? And in Charlotte, North Carolina, some shit went the fuck down. I want your opinion on this, guys. It was an incident. Authorities identified one of the people involved as Omari Sharif Tobias, and he's not a lawman, even though his middle name sounds very close to sheriff. He got up in Charlotte, North Carolina, and he said to the driver, "Hey, let me off here." But it wasn't on a designated bus stop, right? Which, if you ride a bus, never have, but apparently you're not supposed to do, okay? So the driver, David Fuller, he told Tobias, you're going to have to wait a minute until we get to an actual stop, right? And then after a 2-minute exchange, Tobias pulls out a gun, points it at the driver, Fullard, right? This time, Fullard says, "Oh, yeah? You think I haven't been driving a bus for 19 years? He gets his gun out, okay? And it's a fucking showdown on the public bus, guys. This is, quote, "Both men fired their guns in, quote, rapid succession, although it's unclear who shot first." That's according to the company spokesperson who owns this bus. The driver was struck in the arm, and Tobias was struck in the abdomen. So, look, the driver's a better shot. The driver's still recovering from his injuries, and his attorney,
How do you miss someone from inside the bus?
hey,
I'm
man.
assuming this is point blank range for both men,
Well, you want to see the video?
and
Yes.
Tobias misses.
They
Here we
both
go.
they both lived.
Tonight, newly released surveillance video showing the harrowing moments inside a Charlotte bus. A
Yeah.
shootout between a driver
Tobias
and a
missed
passenger.
terribly.
Oh, did he
Other
miss
passengers caught in the crossfire.
Watch.
Transit
Tobias
officials say
misses
last
low.
week, 22-year-old Omari Tobias began arguing with
driver
driver
definitely shot
David
first.
Fuller after asking to get
Well, the
off
driver's right on
between
target.
stops. Tobias then pulling out a gun.
The driver
Fuller
right there
then pulling
said, "I
out
dare you to
his
touch
own
me."
gun, and the shootout begins.
Oh,
He shoots Tobias in the chest. Tobias just
Bullets
shoots
shattering
low.
the plexiglass window of the driver's
Whoa.
He's
cab.
driving on the sidewalk.
Two other passengers ducking for cover.
that's insane.
The driver wounded in the arm. Tobias shot in the abdomen. Fuller continuing to shoot at Tobias after he crawls away and
Whoa.
runs off the bus.
Oh, he's
Both
following
are
him.
recovering from their injuries. And tonight, that driver off the job.
We don't want anyone possessing weapons on our vehicles.
The transit system saying he didn't properly de-escalate the situation and was not allowed to bring a gun to work. The driver's attorney saying his client feared for his safety.
I hear it from a lot of my clients. What they want to do is do their job, but they also want to get home.
Watch breaking.
Wow.
Okay. Thoughts, boys?
Oh man, it's a
I mean-
powder keg.
I feel like taxi driver. If you're allowed to carry a gun, which again, not a big gun guy, don't own a gun. If you're allowed to carry a gun, taxi drivers and bus drivers in those states should be able to carry guns.
I mean, he got a gun pulled on him, so
Yeah.
you could see why he has one if he's allowed to.
I don't know if he should have chased him in the parking lot and then been like, "Oh,
That's
I like it when you run."
That's pretty aggressive. He also, as Wes pointed out, he did definitely shoot first. I think that's why the assailant.
It does look like he did
missed.
shoot first. Yeah.
Yeah, because like he shoots,
'cause he
the
was in
assailant, the assailant
pain.
moves,
Yeah.
and then he misses his
Hard,
shots.
hard to aim when you've been shot in the abdomen. Yeah.
Tell you what,
Yeah.
he wishes that COVID barrier was bulletproof, right? But that's just plexiglass, unfortunately.
Right, he shot straight through that.
Yeah. What do we think here, guys? I mean, in my personal opinion, I kind of see where the bus company's coming from, but at the same point, this dude's been driving for 19 years, right?
He's seen some shit.
He's seen some fucking shit, dude.
Yeah,
And
I mean, he's
drunk
on.
people in taxis,
yeah.
right? We've all heard horror stories about taxi drivers that need to carry guns because of what they've been assaulted and stuff by drunk people,
They
right?
get
Like,
jacked all the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
He also in this video had a gun pulled on him,
Right.
so it's
Right.
not like, I mean, like the evidence is there. He's probably, it's not like he said when the guy pulled the gun. Do you think it's my first time? I've been driving for 19 years, so like it's. Like,
I mean, I said that. I don't. He never said that. I'm just. I know he's been
you're
driving for 19
imagining,
years, so
but I would
I'm
imagine
assuming,
you're
right. Yeah.
you're imagining you're right,
As a
considering
guy
that he
who-
carries it on him.
As a guy who hates guns, I'm fine with it.
Yep. I mean, look,
He drives a
it's
bad
really,
route, you know?
It's on the bus system, if you ask me, to publicize that you can't get off in between. It stops, in my personal opinion.
It would have been funny. Well, not funny. It would've been- if he shoots him dead and then he waits till the stop and then he throws him off.
I mean, dude,
Now you can get off. He's
for those of you guys just listening at home, I'll be honest with you. Here's what happens. Here's what happens. The dude rolls up. The bus driver immediately pops the fucking door, which is so badass. He pops the door and he tries to get him out. Look, as he's
I
driving.
know. I thought
on
he
the
was,
sidewalk.
I thought he shot him out of the
Yeah.
door.
He shot him out the door.
He should have hit the brakes and then shot him.
He's a fucking superhero. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. That happened to him
died.
at work. You
That
didn't
fucking bus
you know,
driver could be dead if he didn't have a gun.
easily.
Yeah, it's a
With gun
thankless
on him at
fucking
work.
job, dude. It's a thankless job. As we said at the top of the bus segment,
Interesting.
buses
Interesting
suck.
that his boss came at him that hard. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, they
that's
have
bullshit.
to.
Yeah.
It's
But
an
they have
insurance
right.
thing.
It's
a
like
legal
it's
thing.
like cover your ass.
I bet everyone
They should take
actually,
him back, though. They should take him back.
everyone actually is like, cool, nice work. But all right, guys, Leeds has been relegated. If you're a listener to the show for a long time, you know that. We randomly picked an EPL team because some of our listeners listened to Leeds. They said you guys should be a Leeds podcast. We became one. Okay.
It just got chilly in here.
And what happens in the English Premier League if you're not familiar? The bottom three teams at the end of each season get sent down to the second tier, and the top three teams in the second tier go up to the English Premier League. And look, we saw what happened in this country with the NIL situation, right? There's a lot of fucking money in television deals in all sports, especially English Premier League. And this is like, if you're a second tier team and you going up to the EPL, this is like a shot of cash steroids being injected into your abdomen, like those
Only
bullets.
for 3 years, though, right?
For Tobias.
2 or 3 years.
Or one, isn't it? Anyway, look,
We made a couple seasons. That's about it.
Couple.
it was pretty good. Here's a statement for the club.
What'd you just put on your fucking neck?
Oh, sorry. I've always, I've been an Inter fan, Inter Milan, for a long time.
Different league,
so.
bud.
Well, I just don't really, now that our team's out of the EPL, I don't really care. So back to the Serie A, baby.
I'm doubling down. Wes, Pat, and I are gonna watch Leeds win like 3-0 every game.
We're gonna watch
What
him
in the
dominate
what
the
is
B
on-
League.
on a broken stream.
What is the league even?
It's
the
it's
first
the
league?
look. Here's the deal, guys. It's the championship league. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So here's a statement from
good.
Leeds.
Yeah, it's
Pretty good, right?
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Here we go, guys. Here's the statement from Leeds. Everyone connected with Leeds United is deeply disappointed by the club's relegation. I'm not. Based back to the Sky Bet Championship after 3 seasons of the Premier League. You're right, Will. Relegation is painful. We apologize. It's spelled wrong. I mean, if you spell apologize correctly and you're an American. To our fan base, that the performance this season have not seen the club consolidate our status that we'd all hoped for. However, Leeds United remains in a strong position to build a team that can challenge for promotion from the championship next season. We know things haven't been good enough. We know we have to improve, but please be assured that behind the scenes, we have worked hard to ensure that the past will not be repeated. AKA
behind the scenes
fire,
is how they
fire,
fucked it
fire,
up.
fire.
Their management fucked up this whole thing. Bielsa was the coach that got them promoted in the first place. They got rid of him for Jesse Marsh. Then they pulled the trigger on Jesse Marsh when he probably could have turned it around had they just stuck it out and at least not gotten relegated. But then they fucked everything up, and then they lost the last several games of the season. The management, the ownership was the reason why they're in the championship now.
I got bad news too. I was so happy. I was like, I'm gonna Google who's in the EFL Championship League, the league below the Premier League. And I'm like, these teams are gonna be so tasty looking. I recognize every single name because they've all been in the Premier League before.
Right. Well, let's talk about
Leeds
that. Leeds
isn't necessarily going to dominate.
No, they might get their asses kicked.
Let's talk about with that attitude. Maybe they will. Mark.
Right. That's what happens if their players leave. If they keep their existing roster, they're going to be in the top 5.
But they won't. A lot of the good ones are already on their way out. Yeah, it's not even. It's already been announced. So
in the championship league, you do have the opportunity to raise up. You can either finish in the top 2, which is automatic promotion, or finish 3rd to 6th and win the playoff. That's how it works. Burnley, Sheffield United, and Luton.
Pay attention to real leagues.
Luton are coming up. Luton's coming up for the first time since 1992, so there's a feel-good story for wherever the fuck that is.
Yeah.
Leicester City and Southampton's going down with Leeds. That brings us to, guys, the top story of the day, also known as
the cream of the crop.
Okay, gentlemen, corrupt politician and Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton was impeached on Saturday in a vote of 121 to 23 in favor of impeachment, and you better believe that included a majority of Republicans. Ken Paxton's a Republican. Let's run down exactly what Paxton did. So,
did the drunk speaker vote twice because he was too drunk? He's like, I'll vote again.
I'm not sure whether he voted twice.
Oh, by the way, I talked to my wife, who I mentioned on that show, worked in the Texas legislature. So what happened with that is Ken Paxton cherry picked that clip. And it's at the end of session when everybody's getting hammered. It's like
what do they call it, Deus or something?
Yeah, it was like 14 hours into a Friday session. It was like 11 p.m. on a Friday.
So he was like, I think it got everybody even more mad at him because he was basically trying to cherry pick something that everybody
All
does.
of them do that? Okay.
And yeah, so he basically is like, he's like the dude that broke guy code.
No,
everybody's after
they
his
do.
Ass
they get hammered for 2 weeks
at
the end of session.
That's fun. They have that bar that's right next to the Capitol. It's like
ooh, the cloakroom. Go in there.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, my lobbyist buddy will not step foot in there. I tried to get him to go in there one time with me. He was giving me a tour of the Capitol, and he goes, I'm not fucking going in there. And I go, why not? He goes, I walk in there, bro, 1 foot in there, I get a bill. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, every lobbyist that sets foot in there, they write your name down. At the end of session, they split all the Congress people's fucking bills and their tabs, and they send it out to you.
Oh, damn. Well, he wasn't. He should have been working for a bigger firm.
No, he's so low. But I do have his take. All right, guys. In 2015, Paxton was indicted on securities fraud. Still not stood trial for that. He's facing a potential 99 years in prison. Bad boy. Felony securities fraud. He allegedly persuaded investors to buy stock in McKinney-based Severgy Inc. without telling anyone that he was getting paid for it. He denied any wrongdoing, and he said it's a politically motivated case, right? In 2020, Paxton, I'm going to put a picture of him up because he's a real weird-looking dude.
Can we look
in 2020,
front, please?
Senior officials in Ken Paxton's office asked federal law enforcement to investigate allegations of improper influence, abuse of the office, bribery, and other potential crimes by their boss. The officials said they believe Paxton broke the law by using the agency to serve the interest of a specific political donor named Nate Paul. Here's a picture of him dressed like Blippi.
Look at that suit.
That guy looks like a bodyguard.
He's an Austin-based real estate investor.
Bench 600 pounds.
Color is not good for his skin tone.
Look at the mitts on this guy.
Makes him look like a monster, Wes. It's like he's like a
hands.
Frankenstein. The suit, for those who can't see, it's like a cobalt blue, and he's wearing like a tangerine orange tie, and then his skin is like a gray tone almost.
This is the last guy you ever see because he's there to kill you.
Look at his hands, dude.
Yeah, they're huge.
Google this guy, Nate Paul. World Class Investments is the name of his company.
Prestige Worldwide.
Yeah, right. Guys, they have assets over $1 billion. He's worth $800 million himself. He started in Austin in 2007 in a self-storage business, and he's clawed, and got his way to the fucking Attorney General.
Ripped arms off of competitors. Yeah, he's ripped competitors limb from limb.
So according to the accusations, because this guy's a huge donor, Nate Paul, obviously. According to the accusations, Paxton used folks in his office, the Attorney General's office, to investigate Nate Paul's adversaries to help them settle a lawsuit. In return, Paul helped Paxton extensively remodel his Austin house and gave a job at World Class Investments to a woman who Paxton was banging. Okay.
Dirty,
The FBI took over that situation in February 2023. The officials that blew the whistle all got canned by Paxton, and then they sued Paxton in a whistleblower lawsuit, which was to be settled for $3.3 million. And that's when the shit went down. That's when the straw broke the camel's back. Guess what Paxton did? Guess what he did, guys?
Taxpayers' money.
He said, Mark and Wes, you guys pay for it.
Yeah.
He asked a state budget writer to spend public money on the settlement. And at that point, they were like, are you fucking kidding me, bud?
He requested help, and he would have been fine had he not just paid it himself. And instead, he requested help, and so now he's impeached.
Look,
there you go.
I desperately need help. I can't get on the bad side of this guy. Somebody send me some money quick.
Dude, Google Nate Paul. Do it right now at home. Google Nate Paul. Go to images.
You pay that guy on time. Yeah.
He's got a cemetery of competitors in his backyard.
he looks like fucking Paul Bearer. He looks like the Undertaker's corner man if he was the Undertaker.
But
the same size as the Undertaker. Yeah. Who should have been the Undertaker's guy.
Anyway, guys, just so you know, Paxton's suspended until it goes to the Senate for a trial. A couple other things on Paxton. He asked the Supreme Court to overturn Joe Biden's election, a suit they tossed out. And I got this from my buddy who's the Republican lobbyist. I said, what's your take on Paxton being impeached? He said, he absolutely should have been impeached, but this is going to make for a real shitty primary election for all my common sense Republican friends. I said, how do you mean? They're going to get tossed in with Paxton? He goes, no. The ones that voted to impeach, they're going to get an ultra-conservative primary opponent, which sucks because now we will have out-of-state money likely coming in. And I said, who's bringing the money in? He said, all the crazies in the other 49 states.
Trump people. Paxton
now
was
that
a
our
big
state's
Trump
legislature
guy. So,
is,
Yeah, so though Trump will try to like flood the zone with we got to win the Red Kingdom back and all that shit.
Sure.
But
Trump criticized Paxton's impeachment.
Right, of course. Yeah.
Paxton was looking for a pardon when he challenged the election.
Yeah, it's
100%.
MAGA Republicans versus not
right. And so Texas is trying to but it's, I mean, Paxton has been hated since he took the job from Greg Abbott, who was the last attorney general before him. And, employees at the office of the attorney general can't stand the dude. They've been trying to get rid of him forever. He keeps
they're prosecutors, and he's asking them to fucking commit fraud. So they're pissed at him.
He keeps getting his federal court cases taken to his home court in like North Texas, where he keeps winning. So it's like he's a slime ball. He's been getting out of it forever. It's probably good for the state of Texas that at least he's gone, even if somebody else comes in, because like this dude has been a slimy politician in Texas for decades.
He kind of looks like if like Chevy Chase and Rudy Giuliani did a face.
I agree. It's good take. Great take. Yeah, no, Will, I agree with you. The one that I was just sad to hear that anytime that a right is wronged or a wrong is righted, then politics is just so fucked
Now
up.
It'll get worse.
Now we're bringing out of state money to fuck you ass.
I mean, politics is nothing but a power vacuum. right?
Yeah, it
And a
sucks.
power vacuum attracts the absolute worst people in investment, and that's just how it works.
Fuck
Same
these hoes.
Same thing with the Daily News show. Hey, Vice News, we're sucking in all your viewers.
That's right.
Mhm. Welcome to it, you
BuzzFeed.
bitches. All right. Hey, on that note, guys, I want to ask you a question. Do you even care about your lawn?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot.
I don't want to hear from you guys. I know the answer. I want this to resonate with the person listening at home. Do you even care about your lawn?
Do you? I have to pull over to think about that one.
Yeah. All right. Now that you've thought about it, there's something you could do about it. Okay. You're lucky to have a lawn. I don't have one. And I want one. But I don't have one, and you have one, and you're not treating it right.
Pat takes his shoes off right away when he gets on the lawn.
Right away. I'll tell you what, I was at the beach this weekend. You know what I was doing? I was looking at those houses that are on the beach houses, right?
Yeah.
Looking at their lawns and saying, look at that. The real special ones, the ones that use Sunday. I said, look at that.
Like to get your toes in there, huh?
I said, what do you functionally do with a lawn like that? And then I answered my own question. I said, you enjoy it. That's what Will said. And that's because some people were using Sunday. Some people weren't. They all could because it's totally affordable. So if you care about your lawn, I'm going to ask you to go to getsunday.com/hardfactor, enter your address, and get a customized plan created just for your lawn. Guys, they're going to send you a little concoction with no hazardous chemicals. You're going to slap that puppy right there on your hose. You're going to go out, you're going to spray that lawn down. You're going to spray it down.
Yep.
And it's going to get better and better and better. And then you're going to say to yourself, I'm sleeping better. I'm eating better. I'm more healthy. Ladies are wanting me. Men are after me. Why? Because when you believe in your lawn, you believe in yourself. Okay.
That's right.
No trips to the store, heavy hauling bags. Sunday will ship it right to your house. Lawn care. Bam. Sunday's easy and affordable. Some lawn care services cost more than $1,500 a year. We're not talking about that.
Nope.
We're talking about full season plans as low as $109. And for a limited time, Sunday's offering Hard Factor listeners 50% off your first box.
What?
Whoa.
Look,
50% off a great lawn? Jesus, what a deal.
Mark could probably tell you he's not gonna, but he probably could. Full season plan, right? 109, divide that by a season, right? And then right, and then break out those 12 units or 8 units or whatever the units are, and then divide one in half.
Oh, I don't know. I can't do all that. I painted a
That's
room today. I'm a little lightheaded, but yeah.
I'll tell you this much though.
See the step ladder.
While we can't do the math completely, I can tell you this. My wife and I were standing out in our lawn today, just admiring it and being like, damn, Sunday works really fucking
Bam,
good.
right after that, sex
Excuse
happened.
my
You know
French.
why?
Works really well.
Because they love each other, and then they realized it while looking at their lawn.
yard
Look
is-
what we
is so
did
green right
in
now.
the back of the house. Now let's go to the front of the house.
That's where their bedrooms are. If you ever go to Will's house, you'll notice that first thing. Bedrooms up front, huh? Guys, go to getsunday.com/hardfactor. Enter Hard Factor at checkout. Get 50% off your first box.
Nice.
Yeah. Guys, Father's Day is just around the corner. And if you're a dad like me, you're hard to shop for, right? I don't wear ties. I don't drink scotch. I don't drink bourbon. I don't really play golf anymore. So what's left to get someone like me? Well, I'll tell you.
Sneakers, maybe.
I mean, who knows my size? I'm a lot bigger than you think I am.
13.
Yeah. You're right, Pat. 13. Something I can. I'll tell you what you can get me. Something I can use to get in shape and have fun. And I'm not talking about a real doll that can run from me. I'm talking about electric e-bike. You know, one of these bad boys. Check that out. Now,
Lectric.
That's styling.
That's
the Stormtrooper.
That's the Expedition. That's one that the Lectric sent me, and let me tell you, it is fucking awesome. First off, very easy to use. It's got a 5-pedal assist setting, and if you get tired of pedaling, you just twist the throttle, and off you go. It's like an electric moped. Super fun, fast. I use it for errands, and my son has also fallen in love with it. Practically the only way I can get him outside. In fact, I'm probably going to get him one so we can enjoy it together. Right?
How fast you guys going? Pretty fast?
Yeah, you can get up to like the fastest I've gotten it is like 25 miles an hour.
Right.
It can get up higher, but I'm
What about downhill?
downhill easily 28, 30.
Yeah, 30.
Yeah.
So it's on par with the Tomos Targa LX.
Yeah, the Sprint.
Well,
maybe.
this is better. I mean, electric is the number one.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I mean,
So-
the
on
Tomos
par,
Targas
but
Tomos
better.
Targas are dead. I mean, those are forever ago. They're not a thing. Oh, they're way better, obviously. No gas.
Okay, I'm just saying.
These are, and they're whisper quiet too. So
yeah.
you just sound like you're just gliding on technology.
Wes is just sneaking to the cigarette store.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just the sound of the tires creaking under Wes's body.
Fire up my car. No, these things are well
Only
built.
the
Look
sound
at
of
this
the frame.
Listen, this thing is so well built. I can put another human on the back of it if I just get the attached seat. And
Don't
ride
get
around.
carried
You
away.
could fit 2 S's on there.
Yeah, I mean, easily.
What was it? Forged by Thor?
From quick trips to outdoor adventures, Lectric eBikes created a mode of transportation that anyone can ride. With quality, feature-filled models, financed as low as $73 per month. Your adventures won't cost a fortune. They include powerful removable battery, a bright LCD display, 7-speed gearing, and 5 levels of pedal assist to power your ride. Plus, you can lower your gas costs and reduce your carbon footprint. Electric bikes are also foldable and ship-free, fully assembled. So skip the played-out gifts for this Father's Day and give the gift of adventure with Lectric bikes. Visit lectricebikes.com to learn more and explore the epic models Lectric has to offer. That's Lectric ebikes.com.
Shit, I forgot one thing in the coffee. Sam Howell was extremely accurate according to all the press.
He's looking great.
Commander's training camp. So
that's good.
Big news. Sorry,
Sam
They might change his name
Howell?
again too.
they were just saying that his accuracy stuck out. So
Guys didn't even draft a backup. You're all in on Sam Howell.
All in.
Trust
Trust process.
Jacoby Brissett is going to give him, some veteran.
Lots of pointers.
Yeah, pointers.
All right. Got a little international lightning round for you today. Going to go to India, then Cambodia, then to South Korea. First, let's go to India, where a government official, this guy, Rajesh Vishwas, is in some deep masala.
Wait, that's a government official?
Yeah, he's like a food inspector, government official.
Wait, why does he have a gun in his waist?
Because
India
the
rolls.
food is unsanitary.
Because he
Listen,
fucks, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, spices are expensive.
Yeah.
And he ordered a reservoir drained of 440,000 gallons, which is about 275,000 toilet flushers, after he lost his phone in the reservoir while taking a selfie. Here's the reservoir. There's Rajesh, and there's the diesel pump he used to pump out all that water. Now, the phone he dropped was some new Samsung worth about $1,200. No big deal. But Rajesh claimed the phone had sensitive government material on it, so he absolutely needed to retrieve it.
Yeah.
That, or he had him of fucking lizards, or him being a bad little piggy.
Yeah, government material. Yeah.
You gotta wonder what's on there, bro.
I'm a bad little piggy. At first,
Show that reservoir again. So there's people that go out there. So he's like, everyone out.
Yeah.
Drain it.
Suck their water out. Yeah, he's like,
2 million liters, dude.
He first had
How long
divers.
did that take?
Yeah, he had
2
divers,
days.
and then it wasn't successful, and then he brought in this old shitty diesel pump that took forever. I'm sure
Took
to
a
get
week.
yeah, forever.
So did he steal all the water? Is it back, or is it just now in the
No,
ground?
it's gone.
It's gone. Well,
So
What?
They got droughts over there, man.
oh yeah, no, there's no water crisis in India at all.
he didn't have a $2 million tank to put the water in. It just shot all backwards and
It
stuff.
just seeped into the
it's in the
desert.
dirt.
Yeah.
Why couldn't he
Sucked
let his
it up.
phone stay there? How bad is the video
Isn't-
on his phone?
Isn't that the best place for his phone to be if it's got bad shit in the bottom of a
don't tell
reservoir?
anybody.
No, because if you have that bad shit on your phone, you want to know where the fuck it is, right?
It's got to be that bad. Because
How
we
would it be that bad?
always joke like, if you die, throw my laptop in a reservoir.
Right,
Like,
right. But we don't have like that bad stuff on. We have just like no one
No,
else
I know.
knows the kind of porn we watch.
This
It's
guy
like
needs it. This guy needs it in his possession.
this guy has some bad shit.
Yeah.
So he could probably be blackmailed with it. So he said he had verbal permission from an
told
office.
everybody he can now. So what are they
Yeah.
going to do?
Now everyone wants to see his phone, and they're going to look into him.
Well, I bet the phone is gone. He said he got permission to drain some water into a nearby canal, adding that the official
No one gave him
said it would,
permission.
quote, benefit the farmers who would have more water. So it was a win-win. I
a
get
good
my
thing,
phone
yeah.
back. I don't go to prison. The farmers can water their crops and animals. And it's almost as if the Indian god of water, Varuna, wanted this to happen, even though Yama, the Indian god of justice, was licking his lips when, Rajesh dropped his phone. So finally everyone would see what a bad little piggy Rajesh had been when someone finds his phone, right? So eventually, he's pumping all this fucking water out. A government official comes and is like, what in all of Vishnu do you think you're doing? And saying the water could have irrigated 1,500 acres of land instead of being wasted because Rajesh has videos of himself apologizing to his mistress. You know?
Right. Yeah, Wes, because it doesn't look like that diesel pump was hooked up to a hose. It was just spraying into a field.
Just
It
the
was
back. Yeah,
He's
he's
just
ruining it.
spraying into the dirt behind
He
it.
just
Yeah, he
caused a
didn't-
landslide behind
He
him.
didn't help any farmers at all.
He's also doing this shit on vacation, bro. Like, think about that. Think about how bad what on that is on that phone. Like
It's
you
really
drop your
bad.
phone, and then he first tries to coordinate with
So bad.
divers, and then he gets a fucking diesel pump to pump for 2 days while he's on vacation.
What did he do? Is he a pedo, you think?
You gotta be a pedo.
It's got to be pedo, but he's like, let me see the. This isn't my background's of a lizard anus. This isn't my phone. This isn't my phone.
I must be punished, mistress. I'm a dirty little piggy.
Hey man, I gotta ask you, how old's that? How old's that lizard's butt?
Or like he murdered someone, but like
Right.
it's on camera. Like,
Yeah,
he
or
has
fraud. He's got proof of fraud on there. I mean, something.
Well, that
Stuff
picture you put up
phones.
is from his social media, man.
Yeah, he's just
So-
rolling like strap
gun.
at
Yeah,
places.
yeah.
It's and then showing it off. The
It's
guy
a
is
G
very
wagon in front of a
confusing.
G wagon.
It's life in prison if they find what's on the phone. Is what it is.
Right.
It's
So
the
they're
end of his
gonna
life, yeah.
if he's suspended, they're gonna do an investigation, and he's probably gonna lose his job and maybe go to prison for what's on that phone. We don't know what's on the phone.
yeah.
But
He
it's
better
something.
have
It's
destroyed that
something.
phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to eat that phone.
You gotta get rid of it. But let's move on to Cambodia. Guys, in Cambodia and other parts of Southeast Asia, they have these crazy crocodile farms. And basically, the crocs are bred for their meat, their skin, and their eggs. So people over there, they love to eat the meat, they love the eggs, and obviously the skin can be sold for high dollar, make boots, and whatever else for rich people. They're basically
Okay,
giant
so
pits.
Wow, really? Like chickens?
Yeah, they're like big chickens. They're like they're like cows and shit.
So
Yeah,
I'm starting to see. Isn't it possible that the crocodiles that have been around since before dinosaurs might have done a little bit of a Gladys here and been like they're putting us in farms and cutting our skin off, and maybe that's why they eat some of the people.
Yeah, I mean
Gladys the orca that
they're
like
not
spread word. Like I'm sure they can communicate since they've
It's
been around
even
for
worse.
18 billion years, and they're
Orcas are at least mammals, and so they're gonna but these are like lizards. I mean, these
these
things are
are
gonna fuck a
dumb.
human up.
pretty
I mean,
sure
they
they
just wanna-
told the other crocodiles,
Yeah, but
they're
you
like
ever
that.
seen one of those run, dude? They can
Yeah,
run
they're
fucking
fast.
like 40 miles an hour.
Like
Yeah.
a horse.
they've survived
quick.
like
I'm not taking anything away from the crocodile. I'm
short.
just saying a lizard will eat you.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what happened. They're basically giant pits
That's
of
why
crocodiles.
you got to fuck them with your buddies before they get a chance to do it.
That's
Yeah.
what they say in
when
India.
they're babies. Maybe that's the problem.
Yes, this is my phone. Yes.
Oh yeah, there I am. There I am, fucking the lizard. As you can imagine, you work at one of these farms like 72-year-old Luan Nam did in the city of Siem Reap. You say to yourself every morning, whatever you do, all day, you can do anything else, just don't fall into the crocodile pit, right? That's all you have to do all day. Just don't fall into the crocodile pit. Unfortunately, this past Friday, that's exactly what Luan Nam did. He fell into the pit when a crocodile he was trying to move, grabbed a stick, and he didn't let go of the stick, and it pulled him into the pit. And then the crocs ate his arm, and then
I
they
think he'd let
killed
go
him.
of the stick.
Yeah. You think
What's
I
the
mean-
first word? What's the first word when you get in there?
I would
uh-oh.
fuck you, crocodiles.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just whoops.
I don't even know if you
That
got a
was the
word
one
out.
mistake.
Yeah,
The
please,
one
please.
mistake.
I mean,
Dead.
do you even try to get up because you know
No,
you're
you
dead.
know you're
you're
It's a
dead.
pit of crocodiles. You're over.
Man, it's a pit of
So you're
crocodiles.
saying your last prayers or whatever.
Yeah, it's bad.
I would try to poop real quick so they got like kind of poop on them a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe come real quick.
Just come.
Yeah, try to come real quick on them.
It's a good thing being scared makes me horny.
That would freak them out.
Assert dominance.
Crocodiles bite your whole package off.
Oh, you don't want this, man. You don't want this. Trust me, Croc.
It's real smelly down there. Finally,
Come and get it.
His mentor comes in to clean up his body and checks his drawers, and he's like, "Oh man, he went out fighting."
Right, yeah. Gave it everything he
He
had.
trains them every time you're at the edge. You have to have a full erection just in case you fall in the pit.
Look, they're gonna get you. You're still gonna die, but this It's just one last fuck you to them.
Exactly. That's how you gotta roll.
I hate it.
Finally, let's go over to the
Went out like a man.
The air over South Korea, where on Friday, a deranged man opened one of the emergency doors of a descending Asiana Airlines flight headed in for Seoul. When the plane was about 700 feet off the ground, here's video of the passengers.
It wasn't 50,000 feet.
Oh, yeah. Well, they couldn't do it. He wouldn't be able to do it at 50,000 because the pressure is too great. So at about 800 feet, the pressure kind of levels out between the plane and like how far you are. So
there's one man who could do it at that height.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He could easily do it. Yeah. Mr. Blue Suit.
What's his name again?
His name's Nate Paul.
Nate Paul.
Exit row, please.
Oh my God, he just turns. Okay, so what happened, Wes? This guy how did he get it open? I thought you couldn't get it open. Or maybe
right. So at 800 feet, like I'm saying, the plane like depressurizes because you don't need it to be depressurized because you can breathe at that level of height, I guess. And it enables you to be able to open the plane door, and that's what he did.
Up until you can still send text messages, right? Like when you're like in the air and you're like still sending text, and then it stops.
Yeah.
Then,
once you can't send text,
then
you can't open the door. You're right. Yeah, something like that. So here's video of the passengers after the door was opened.
Holy shit!
As you can see, the wind is just blowing everyone's scarves, and these two guys in the front, are like, I'm gonna get a voucher when I land.
Damn.
You ever seen anything like this?
Also kind of cool though. Like,
yeah, there's the door he opened. So he opened a emergency exit door, which was in the middle of the plane. So he didn't like he had to climb over some people in an exit row. I don't know if he was sitting in the exit row. Then they pinned him down.
What a nut.
And, huh?
What a nut. You know,
Yeah,
this guy's losing his mind.
Yeah. So when they finally got the guy, they pinned him in the plane so he couldn't like jump out or cause any more havoc. When they got on the ground, they arrested him, and they asked why he did it. He said, "I wanted to see if everyone would fly out like in the movies."
Yep, he's crazy. Yep,
yeah,
it is.
which I think is a great excuse. No, he didn't actually say that. He said it was because it was a domestic flight and it was taking longer than it should have, and he felt suffocated inside the cabin, and he wanted to get off quickly.
Even more crazy, honestly.
Yeah.
So as soon as the plane landed, they were on the uprise, but as soon as the plane landed and
They were on the
whatever, then
downrise.
they were going
descending.
down.
Yeah, they were descending.
Oh, so he wanted to like just jump right off the plane.
Just wanted to
guess
get
so.
there quicker.
Yeah, get off a few minutes early. Okay.
Maybe see if he could do it. I don't know. He said he lost his job, was under a lot of stress, so he was just trying to kill everyone on the plane, I guess, because he was under a lot
Good
Oh,
of
call.
just himself. Yeah, just himself. He made it pretty clear. Yeah, just
Call
okay.
firing that guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, about a dozen people went to the hospital with breathing issues after the plane landed, and he faces 10 years in prison for his little freak out.
Yeah. Yeah, he deserves those 10 years.
Yeah. Here they are arresting him, pinning him down like a pig.
Why is everybody a pig today?
Like a little
I'm a
piggy.
bad little piggy.
Bad little
Like
pig
a
here.
little piggy.
Look at me in the mud.
All right. Are you guys familiar with this movie? I'm putting up the movie poster. You familiar with it?
Orphan.
Right? So that's a girl in a pigtails and a dress, and the tagline is "There's something wrong with Esther," and it's the movie Orphan, as Pat called out. It says so right there. And what's wrong with Esther, as they're asking?
She's 42 years old.
That's right. It's not that her parents died making her an orphan, which you know by the title. It's that they probably died of natural causes or were murdered by Esther, who's actually a 40-year-old psychotic adult, not a child that likes to get adopted by unsuspecting people then terrorize them.
How does she keep it so tight and young looking though?
Because she has a disorder, like the girl that the guy flew from England, the bartender. She's got that bartender's disorder.
Make you Benjamin Button disorder or something.
Yeah, like you never.
Shauna Lee or whatever her name is.
Yeah. You never.
Lee, right.
You appear like a child for the rest of your life. So
Gotcha.
she has that. Now that's a movie. Okay. Interesting premise. Mediocre
show.
movie. And then we mentioned the show. But it turns out Orphan, which came out in 2009, might have been the inspiration for Ukrainian dwarf Natalia Grace, who is not only a dwarf, which makes her short, but she also has the permanent child face disorder. According to a lot of people.
Oh, wow.
A lot of people. This is when she was 6 in 2010, a year after Orphan came out, and was adopted by a family in Indiana, the Barnetts, Michael and Christine Barnett. of Indiana who adopted her in 2010, Natalia, and they thought, oh, she's a 6-year-old Ukrainian refugee. And then that's when the horror story began in 2010 for them. They're finally telling this story in a new documentary being released tonight, Monday, on Investigation Discovery called The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. And basically she fucked the poor Barnetts up so badly that they split up. They're now divorced, and they moved to Canada to get away from her and left her at their house in 2014, 4 years after taking the psychopath.
My house now.
Adopting a homicidal dwarf didn't keep them together?
No, it didn't, Wes.
How did she win that legally once they found out she was of age, though?
Oh, we'll get to
They
all
just
that.
wash their hands of it.
Yeah, no one wants to be near her, Will. Natalia allegedly threatened to stab them to death in their sleep, would stand over them in the middle of the night. She put poison in their coffee, like car fluids and shit, as well as she threatened to kill their biological children. She also drained their bank account from $300,000 to 37 cents in just 4 years. The craziest part, though, is the jury is still out technically on if Natalia was a 6-year-old back in 2010 and would make her 19 now, and if she's Ukrainian and a dwarf, or if she's just an adult con artist. We don't know.
They still don't know her.
We
true
still
identity?
don't know, really, Will. Maybe at the end of the documentary we'll find out, but she won't tell us the truth of who she is. We're living with a con artist and a sociopath, Michael said, crying. That's the opening to the trailer. Look what she did to this guy. She absolutely broke this guy who had $300,000 in his bank account and was happily married to this
With a
lady
family.
who was also broken by this.
Whose idea was it? Whose idea was it to get? Whoever's idea, you couldn't get over it. If it was like one of them was really into it and the other one wasn't, you could never get over that.
Dude, I think I told you guys this before, but did you guys ever see the movie Imposter? The documentary
Yes,
from
dude.
2012?
Yeah, the guy who played the son that was missing for like a decade or more.
Frederick Borden.
Yeah.
So
he got the same tattoos as the dude.
Right. So essentially, this guy's a con man, French con man, and he's in prison, and he's so fucking good that when he gets busted, he pretends to be a missing kid from Texas or someplace, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
oh, wow.
I heard about this story in like 2009 or 10, like right when we first moved to Austin through a friend of a friend. Ben Steinbauer, filmmaker, he made a movie called Winnebago Man. He was making it, and I caught up with him like 6 years later, and I was like, Bud, whatever happened to that documentary you were making? It sounds just like that movie, The Imposter, that came out. And he goes, yeah, man, it was that movie. It was the same guy. And I'm like, what happened, dude?
He conned him.
He's like, well, he's a con man. So we paid him.
Sold
we paid him
his
20
scripts to
grand for his life rights, and
sold him to everybody.
Sold him to everyone.
He
sold him to everybody.
No. That Imposter was. I haven't seen one, but Imposter was awesome. Apparently,
that makes a lot of sense, honestly.
Apparently, the Barnetts started to catch on when Michael's wife, Christine, let out a blood-curdling scream the first time she gave Natalia a bath, which at 6 seems borderline to me, especially if it's like a new kid, but whatever. So she's given her a bath, and she lets out a scream because when Natalia got naked, she revealed a huge, thick, full bush downstairs on the 6-year-old. Then they
broach this. There's no parenting book to broach that subject. So your 6-year-old has a bush.
She's so full, she screamed. They then discovered that the alleged 6-year-old was hiding periods for for months and months on end. She just kept hiding, bloody tampons stuff. And then the stealing, the lying, the threatening to death was a quick follow.
The smoking,
yeah.
She smoked like a chimney.
Yeah.
I still haven't figured out how old she is.
No, man. She didn't grow an inch. Well, she didn't grow an inch in the 4 years, but it could be because she's a dwarf. So from 2010 to 2014,
she's in her 20s.
She didn't grow an inch. She didn't lose any teeth. She had like her adult teeth. She also, they said some of the red flags were that she was way too mature and smart for her age. They said she had a vocabulary that was described as Shakespearean. Like she was like,
her knees swelled up when it was about to rain.
Yeah.
She's amazing at chess.
Yes.
Oh, she was destroying these other kids in chess.
She knew a wide variety of sailors' knots.
Yeah, it's bad. But all that led to Christina verbally and physically abusing her, which is also admitted. Like, she used to beat the shit out of her. And not everyone's on the Barnett side. Their neighbors at the time said, quote, the Barnetts are the predators. They literally just left her the wolves regardless of her age. She was neglected, abandoned, and alone when they moved to Canada. And then Michael's mother says, we don't know that there's 100% one villain here. There might be many. And then the couple's son, Jake, said that my mom isn't 100% innocent. And Michael said that Christina used to beat the fucking shit out of Natalia, being like, tell me your real age. She'd like lock her in closets and chase her around the house, being like, tell me your real age.
Well, how did they not just deal with it with the people? Like, they I guess like sourced her themselves. Like, they went to Ukraine and found her, and then
it's pretty common. It's pretty common to go to an orphanage in Ukraine.
Yeah, well, but to your point,
so they couldn't deal with it because they brought her over basically and made her a citizen, and the government's like, yeah, it's on you.
Beggars can't be choosers. But to your point, Will, Natalia's biological mother claims in the documentary that Natalia was born in 2003 and that she abandoned her, but she was born in 2003, making her 6 when the Barnetts adopted her.
How does she explain the bush?
I don't know, but here's Natalia. So we saw Natalia as a child, right? Here's Natalia as a child. Here's her drawing like landscapes, you know. Here she is a child. Here's her in 2019 appearing on Dr. Phil to defend herself, saying she was a child the whole time. And if you notice her face, she does look a lot older.
She does.
She's looks 32, a lot older. So that would have made her what, like 20 something when she was here?
19 maybe.
Yeah.
She looks 19.
Maybe 14.
Yeah, so she's still defending herself, and we're not,
she's obviously a full-grown woman.
We're not sure. We're gonna have to find out at the end of the documentary.
Yeah, that's pretty cut and dry. I mean, she's definitely.
I wonder if the Barnetts. I wonder if the Barnetts watched the movie Orphan like during that period. They had to, right? Had to.
Dude, I haven't seen. My brother keeps trying to get me to watch the new series. He says it's fucking batshit.
Oh yeah, they
crazy
did They did a TV show about it too.
Is that the one that's supposed to be the scariest thing anyone's ever seen?
That's
I saw some like ad about the scariest horror film or TV show.
That's From, and it's not that scary, but it's good. From is like from the people that did Lost, and it's about people that can't leave a town, and and that's that same ad got me to watch it, Wes, because that's a great ad, and it's okay. It's not.
Let me do an ad. If you want to watch a movie like that, check out my first film, House Hunting. Same concept. So it's way not as good as From, but still pretty good.
From is good. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you should plug that.
Also decent, but not as good as From, probably. We tried to get the guy from. God damn it.
Yeah, he's also from like Lost and stuff. He's good. Yeah.
Is it Drew Goddard? Anyway. Will.
All right, you guys want to catch up with Richard Dreyfuss real quick before we head out?
Yeah, man.
Okay, you may have seen a lot of headlines about Richard Dreyfuss in the last month, as Mark was alluding to. That's because he went on Bill Maher's Club Random. All right, and he was upset about communism. He made some communism remarks, political correctness at the Oscars, and now people are treating him like he's a KKK Grand Wizard because he's upset about political correctness at the Oscars.
Well, wasn't his quote? It wasn't his quote that I hope Ariel dies at the end of this Little Mermaid.
It was not his quote. He said that the inclusions make me want to vomit. The inclusion rules at the Oscars make me want to vomit.
Hashtag Team Ursula.
Yeah. He said, but Mark, I don't think those are the headlines, and that's what the media was upset about. But the only thing actually being talked about on the actual comment section of the podcast on YouTube is how Richard Dreyfuss gave the interview, and he did it falling out of his chair the entire time.
What?
And neither him or Bill Maher ever said anything about him falling out of the chair. He obviously has a couple extra pillows behind him and stuff. He just keeps falling out of the chair, and they never address it. And it's it's almost like it's a comedy act.
I've watched this show a bunch. They get fucked up on this show. So dude, they smoke dope on the show. They smoke joints. They drink. It's like they really get fucked up.
He's fall out of your chair drunk, and they don't address it.
Dude, he's so fucked up. He also, what he said isn't that crazy. It's just a bunch of angry writers who are mad at him. So this is a bit of a choose your adventure segment here. Do you guys want to see the YouTube comments first and then the video, or the video and then the YouTube comment? Just your choice.
I think video for me.
Okay, Wes wants video first.
I want to go with the comments first, but yeah, I'm overruled.
Yeah, no, let's do it in reverse. That's better story. It's better storytelling. Do it in reverse.
All right, so in reverse, I think that this is the better way to enjoy it too, because it'll wet your whistle for what you're about to see. KC Commenda top comment says that Bill never acknowledges Richard's sitting activity is the biggest mystery of all time. Okay, so that's the number one comment on the video. Subseed says Richard Dreyfuss, one of the few that can turn a chair into a recliner. A lot of people love that one. Richard Dreyfuss drank, Mr. says, Richard Dreyfuss drank a whole bottle of NyQuil and ate 3 Quaaludes right before the show started. The way he constantly melted away in that chair was hilarious.
Mr. Holland's dopest.
Yeah. No shit.
Richard Gurka says, felt like Bill was interviewing a plumber working under the kitchen sink. DJ D10 says, imagine the difference between watching this podcast or only listening to it, which I think a lot of the people who wrote the articles suffered from. And then Rob said, I'm dying over Richard falling out of the chair constantly and it not being acknowledged.
That's so good.
Dude, it's the best. So as Pat said, they get fucked up on this podcast. It's like Bill Maher's sideshow. It's just him and Richard Dreyfuss. It's an hour long, but I cut you down like the funniest, I think, like 5 minutes of it. Okay. And here he is, Richard Dreyfuss, trying to stay in his chair when he speaks with Bill Maher on the podcast.
How are you?
Well, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Do you remember the show we did together?
Which one? The Funny You Don't Look 200? Or doing your show?
1987.
The show opens
It's very
with
comfortable.
You. Really?
And
Extremely
it's
comfortable.
carried for the first 15 minutes, maybe, by you and Jeff Tamber.
Who's that? Oh, Jeffrey Tambor?
Yeah.
Was in that?
Yeah.
Who else could I have been whacking it to? There must have been. I know there was.
Oh, yeah. Jacqueline Bissett.
Jacqueline Bissett. Exactly.
Yeah.
And with an English accent, which usually is such a boner killer. There's just something about that accent that doesn't go.
And so she did. And that was a big, hot turn on.
What do you think about when you masturbate?
He's getting
Isn't
lower.
that the ultimate question that could tell you what really a person is about? What do you think about when you masturbate, Richard Dreyfuss?
I never thought about my mother.
Well, I hope not.
What?
I never thought that if I had thought of my mother, I would be thinking incestuous thoughts.
Okay, so he
That
thought about his mother every
never occurred to
time.
me. And yet, incestuous
He would love
thoughts
Pornhub today.
was the engine that drove my masturbation.
Really?
Yes.
Incestuous with who?
Who crossed that street first?
Yeah. Inquiring minds want to know.
Googling Richard Dreyfuss' sister.
I mean, you brought it up, but
Yeah,
like,
no,
if
I'm
it's not
trying to
your
think.
mother,
so
how
low.
many people could it be? I mean,
His knees are
and
touching the
in
floor.
the early
His
years,
knees are touching the floor.
I thought about very little else.
not grandma.
Who am I
Oh,
thinking?
Kathy.
Who are you thinking?
Who am I
This is
thinking?
embarrassing.
I'm asking, who are you thinking of? Because you know,
Inquiring minds want to know.
well, I mean, you do know that porn today is like dominated almost by incest porn. No,
You ever hear of the Chochinsky riots?
the Chochinsky riots?
I'm
No.
probably mispronouncing that.
Where are they?
Oh my God, he's so low.
The Chochinsky riots
He's gone.
were
He's out of the chair.
decade-long
He's out of the chair now.
Cossack-driven.
Sure.
It was the
Pogrom.
worst
Bill,
thing that
help
had
him
ever
up.
happened to,
Totally out
to
of-
the Jews in Russia. The worst thing that had ever happened to them.
He's
until
slinking
the
closer.
But there were many pogroms.
To Bill Maher.
This is probably just the
How
worst.
is this not the
Yeah.
headline?
But
He's
that's
not
what, of
racist,
course-
he's
Holocaust.
just
And it
drunk
was
mad.
exactly that.
That's what
It
the
was
show
that-
Fiddler on the Roof is about.
Yeah.
Fiddler on the
back
Roof
up.
is the Cossacks are always coming,
wanted to
so I
show you
want a
guys a
rich
good-
man.
That's This
Oh,
girl, who was the picture
back
of
on the floor.
perfect innocence and beauty,
Trying to sit in the
and
chair.
Puerto Rican Catholic.
Your girlfriend.
Yeah, she was great.
Bill Maher
His
just
upper,
doesn't say
And
his
anything.
upper
innocent,
back
you
is
say.
touching the chair. That's it.
Because
Oh, yeah.
Bill Maher got him high,
As a matter
dude.
of fact, when her father
Bill
found
Maher
out
feels very responsible.
that
He's
she
an
was
epic
dating
pothead.
me,
Dreyfuss can't handle his shit.
being
Clearly
a
not.
Jew,
Look at him. He's holding his
he
hands in the air.
forced her
I
to
mean,
break up.
Bill
really?
Maher's sitting there
That's
being like,
what
what did I
broke you
do?
up?
Well, that's the first
Why
one.
does it
Because
feel like
you're
we
a
should-
Jew?
We should stop
Yeah.
filming for a minute.
He was a Catholic cab driver.
His
What if
publicist
you had just
calling in a
offered to
bomb
be
threat.
only Jewish, but not really a
I
Jew?
just remember Santa.
I heard this the other day. Someone did that the other day. Is that
Like
you?
he speaks to the
he's down again.
anti-Semitism, especially in the second half.
Oh, this is
That's
Spielberg
going on around today. I mean, you know, he got some of that real punch in the nose because you're a Jew stuff. What?
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Really?
No.
Yeah, he's fucking.
Spielberg, the director,
Yeah, he knows it.
big Jew.
Dude, Dreyfuss.
Dreyfuss never plans on working ever again.
No, dude, it's amazing. It is amazing, dude. I didn't know. That is Dr. Leo Marvin, for those who don't know. If you haven't watched What About
Your
Bob?
death therapy saved me, you genius.
genius.
He's not looking like a genius in that.
Dude, but Dr. Leo Marvin, he doesn't give a fuck, to Wes's
No.
point. He is so fucked up on that show, saying whatever he wants, could give two shits what anybody says about it. I never thought I could like Dr. Leo Marvin more than I did, and I do after watching that interview.
Yeah, I think the headlines are a little out of line because obviously he was zonked out of his mind.
I mean, did you see Bill Maher was putting a bong? Like, Bill, you can't have a bong on the set of your television show, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bill Maher, he had a pack. Pat, you to your point, he had joint.
I saw Bill Maher's one of the biggest
He was
potheads in
ripping out
entertainment.
joint after joint, smoking them.
He gets fucking stoned on that show.
Yeah, so it
Another
was just,
bakeout.
dude. That was one of the
Another
funniest
bakeout.
interviews I've ever watched. Like,
It's another stakeout.
Yeah.
These references are too deep. But yes,
Yeah.
that was fucking great, dude.
dude, it's gold. It's content gold. I guarantee you, Dreyfuss and Maher aren't upset about it. Like all the journalists are upset about it, but that was one of the funniest fucking things. And thank you to listener Evan for sending in the chair aspect, because everybody in the media was talking about what he said or whatever. But
No, this
the
is
listeners,
this is the
Evan
story.
and others,
This is the story.
finally got us to look at the chair. And
Well, do you think
thank
that's a
God we did.
cover, Will? That's a cover because if you're saying some shit that you know might be potentially controversial, you could always point to, I was fall out of my chair drunk or fall out of my chair stoned. Literally.
Maybe so. Maybe
I
so,
think
but
he
it
got.
worked.
I don't know if he reverse engineered. I think he got to that state of mind, and now he
went
needs
with
to.
it.
Now his PR people might want to start spinning it that way.
Dreyfuss
But
doesn't
what
care.
he didn't say anything that was like too crazy, right? Like I was
No,
just
he-
joking.
that he masturbates to his sister.
No,
that was the craziest thing.
I'm talking about
That
the
was the
headlines.
that was definitely
The headlines about it. That was the
Yeah.
craziest thing he said. Yeah.
I mean, not my mother. So
They missed the two biggest headlines. Clearly,
Guess
it was his
who?
mom because
Guess
he
who,
said
Bill?
he mentioned his mom like 3 times.
Yeah.
And then he's like, but I also do incest all the time in my mind. The stories was Richard Dreyfuss jerks off to family members and falls out of his chair when he gets high.
Yeah, slides on the pillows.
Not that he's upset about inclusion, diversity in filming.
Right. No, that was like a very
that's a distant third.
As
That
you
was-
could tell from the cut together, it's not even one of the most explosive parts of the interview.
That was his PR person doing their job. Is the headlines?
dude, I don't think they have a PR. I think
It's on the
that's
Oscars,
Yeah,
please.
that's better. That's better than the
That's
incest.
way
point.
better.
we got to see where they filmed that show because the light. I've noticed in that show
best.
the lighting is so dark.
Oh, it's so dark. It's in like Bill's basement, man. They're just partying.
To your point, he just pours you like bourbon. There's a bunch of empty Coke cans, so they're drinking like Jack, rum, and expensive stuff and Coca-Cola, and then he gets you high off his weed, which is 10 times stronger than what Dreyfuss has smoked if he smokes
Dreyfuss
at all.
smoking some dirt on
Yeah.
the side.
Yeah.
Dreyfuss is the man, though. He's so funny, man. He's fun. You never see celebrities get that fucked up on air, and so it's just like
Oh, it's at his house. Yeah.
perfect, exactly. Say Dreyfuss was comfortable.
Dreyfuss probably slept over there.
Oh, dude, he put
Dreyfuss-
Dreyfuss. He slept on the
just-
floor of the chair. He slept right there on the chair.
Yeah, and that's why he had the extra pillows. Probably had a blanket too under there you couldn't see. But
Dreyfuss might
Anyway.
still be there.
yeah, thank you so much to the listeners. That's why the Hardo Hive is undefeated. You guys point out what's really great about the news and help us find that too. So thank you very much. That was the real story. Dreyfuss falling off the chair. And that's this Monday's Hard Factor. Time to spin the wheel.
All right. Does that wheel look good to everyone?
It's at. So hold on. Club Random is at his home bar,
Yeah.
which is known as Club Random. Right. Okay.
Oh, nice.
So, and the reason it's so dark in there is because he's got those fucking cameras just set up.
Close Encounters.
Just in case Dreyfuss comes over.
Yeah.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind, bud.
Dreyfuss is the man. Jaws. He knew Spielberg. That at the end, I included that because Dreyfuss was, I think, fucking with Bill Maher. At the end, he was so fucked up that he was like shit talking him to his face a little bit there.
I'm gonna watch the whole episode.
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
Good. Thank you.
And then there's a Fred Durst episode too. Come on.
Oh, yeah, but Durst can probably handle his weed.
Oh yeah,
dude. No, he's not. Nobody's
not falling out of his chair.
Nobody's getting the Dreyfuss level. That's
all right, here's for coffee tomorrow.
Wes, going to be phone number.
I will have your coffee.
Fantastic. Can't wait for that, Wes. Thank you for spinning the wheel. Remember, send me, Will, at Hard Factor Will on Twitter and Instagram and Discord, all of your submissions for the Hive 5 this week. Also, don't forget, drop us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and send us what you want us to say. If you want to hear it read back on this Friday's episode during the Hive 5, follow at Hard Factor News on all social media and share the podcast with people who might think it's funny to help us get to Hive Island one day as a group. Collectively, you're all invited once we get there. But most importantly, get out there and have yourself a great fucking day.